When I started my bachelor studies in reservoir engineering, my idea of an oil reservoir was a giant pool filled with a black substance that we called it oil, the black gold, and they will drill a bit into that pool and produce the oil. But after a while, taking 1 or 2 courses, I realized that there is no pool down there. And if you want to know what an actual reservoir looks like, it looks like this sponge. Yes, similar to this sponge, an oil reservoir is a porous medium with a pore size of like this sponge in the size of millimeters or even smaller, microns, where oils are hidden there. This sponge, which is now considered our reservoir, is under lots of pressure caused by the upper layers and sediments above it, so it's very compressed. And when a well is drilled into our sponge, finally the hidden and compressed oil find a way out and they will quickly flow through the well and come to the surface. So we have plenty of oil recovered only by the natural energy of our compressed sponge. But after a while, this sponge is no longer that much compressed, which means no oil spontaneously would come up. So you have millions of barrels of oil trapped there. What we should do now? Leave it there? Well, of course not. Some reservoir engineers suggested that let's inject something into our sponge or actual reservoir to sweep the oil, to push it. To do that, we need 2 wells, one for injecting some fluid to sweep the oil and another one for producing that. But here is the main question, what we should inject into our reservoir to sweep the oil. Some engineers came up with the idea of water injection. Water is good. In fact, if your reservoir is down there at the ocean, we have plenty of water. But it also has a problem. If you inject water, it will quickly migrate to the bottom part of your sponge because of its density, and it only sweeps into small pores, not the big ones. So not very efficient. Well, some other engineers came up with the idea of gas injection. Gas injection is good too. In fact, we can use CO2 to mitigate the climate change as well. But it also has a problem. If you inject gas, it would quickly migrate to the upper part of your sponge, and it only sweeps into big pores, not the small ones. So again, not very efficient. So what should we do now? Water the bottom part, gas the upper part? Now I see that you're thinking, yes, why not using both of them? Water alternating gas injection, the cyclic injection. And here is where my work begins. I'll take the sponge, which is no longer a sponge, it's an actual oil properties and also water and also gas properties, and I will do the mathematical modeling and simulation to find the optimum strategy of injecting these 2 fluids to have the highest oil recovery. VAG injection can also be used not only for oil production, it can also be used for producing any contamination or pollutant if you want to clean underground water or soil. And by doing that, my job is done and my thesis is over. Thank you all very much.